knows, no one sees. These nights, these damned nights, they don't hear the cries I choke back. They don't feel the ache clawing at my chest like a rabid beast. They don't see the blood on my hands, the blood that isn't just from my enemies, it's mine too. The wounds I hide, the ones I don't let heal, they bleed in silence. They drip into the darkness where no one dares to look. Do you think I wanted this? Do you think I chose to be the one who always stands, no matter how many times I've been knocked down? No, I didn't choose this life. It chose me. It buried me under its weight and dared me to breathe. It stripped me of everything and told me to keep walking, and I did. But don't mistake my steps for strength. Sometimes I've stumbled so hard I wanted to stay down. Sometimes I've screamed so loud inside my own head, it felt like I'd go mad. But no one hears you when you scream in the dark, do they? They don't know the nights I've sat in the cold, shaking, staring at my reflection in the blade, wondering if it was worth it, wondering if this fight, this endless God-forsaken fight, was ever going to end. They don't see the weight I carry, the faces, the memories, the regrets. They don't see how the ghosts of the past crawl into my bed at night and whisper all the things I could have done, all the ways I failed. And they sure as hell don't see the tears. Tears. A warrior isn't supposed to cry, right? A warrior is supposed to be stone, unbreakable. But here I am, breaking, shattering. And I'll tell you this, these tears, they aren't weakness. They're the storm before the silence, the fire before the ash. They're the truth. And I wear them like a crown, even when they burn. You think you're the only one who's suffered? You think you're the only one who's broken? No. I've broken 1,000 times, and I'll break 1,000 more before this is over, but I don't care. Because every crack, every scar, every wound, it's a reminder that I've survived. It's proof that no matter how deep the blade went, no matter how dark the night got, I'm still here. Do you hear me? I'm still here. That's the thing about people like us, the ones who cry in the dark, the ones who bear the weight of the world in silence. We're not like them. We don't shatter at the first sign of trouble. We don't run when the storm comes. No, we are the storm. We rise from the ashes. We take the pain, the loss, the heartbreak, and we turn it into fuel. You think I fight because I'm strong? No. I fight because I've been weak. I've been at the bottom, drowning, choking on my own failures. I fight because I've looked in the mirror and hated the person staring back. I fight because no one else will. And you're standing there, thinking about giving up, thinking about walking away. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Do you know what it takes to keep going when everything in you is screaming to stop? It takes fire. It takes rage. It takes the kind of strength that comes from breaking over and over and still putting the pieces back together. It takes you. So, let them laugh. Let them judge. Let them turn their backs on you. They don't know the nights you've cried alone. They don't know the demons you've fought, the battles you've waged in silence. They don't know the weight you carry, the pain you endure. And they never will. But you will. Every time you stand up, every time you face the darkness, you'll know. You'll know that you didn't give up. You didn't let it break you. You didn't let the night swallow you whole. Listen to me. If you can cry, you can breathe. And if you can breathe, you can fight. So, cry your tears. Scream into the void. Break if you have to. But when it's done, when the tears dry and the screams fade, you stand. Do you hear me? You stand. Because this world doesn't care about your pain. It doesn't care about your struggles. It will crush you, grind you into dust, and keep moving. But that's where you rise. That's where you show it who you are. You're not just the warrior with the scars. You're the warrior who owns them. You're not the one who cries in the dark. You're the one who uses those tears to sharpen your blade. You're not the broken one. You're the one who refuses to stay broken. So, let the night come. Let it bring its shadows, its silence, its ghosts. Let it try to take you. Because you know what? You've cried before, and you've survived. You've fallen before, and you've risen. You've faced the darkness before, and you've walked through it. And you will do it again. No one knows the nights you've cried alone. No one sees the battles you fight in silence. But I do. I see them because they're mine too. And I'm telling you now, you don't stop. You don't quit. You don't let this world win. You fight. You rise. You become. Because that's what warriors do. And you're a damn warrior. You think pain is your enemy? No. Pain is your teacher. It doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to forge you. Every time you felt your knees hit the ground, every time your chest has heaved in agony, every time you begged the gods or the void or whatever you believe in to just end it all, that was your lesson. You want to know the truth? Pain is the only thing that has never lied to you. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't hide. It doesn't whisper false promises in your ear. It looks you dead in the eyes and tells you, this is what it is. And you either learn to carry it, or you let it bury you. I've been buried before. I've felt the weight of it pressed down on me until I couldn't breathe. I've let it drown me, let it whisper that I wasn't enough, that I'd never be enough. And I almost believed it. I almost let it win. But something inside me refused to die. Something small, something fragile, like a single ember in a sea of ash. And that ember, it grew, it burned, and it reminded me that as long as there's fire, there's hope. But fire doesn't burn without fuel. You want to rise? You want to be more than what they said you'd be? Then feed that fire. Feed it every failure, every heartbreak, every tear. Let it consume the lies they told you, the doubts they planted in your mind. Let it devour the weakness, the fear, the excuses. They'll call you crazy. They'll call you reckless. They'll say you're obsessed. Let them. They don't understand what it takes to crawl out of the pit you've been thrown into. They don't understand what it means to rebuild yourself from the ashes, piece by painful piece. They don't know the strength it takes to keep going when every part of you is screaming to stop. And they never will, because they haven't lived your nights. They haven't walked your path. They haven't stared into the abyss and had the abyss stare back. But you have. And that makes you dangerous. That makes you unstoppable. Because the person who has survived their own hell has nothing left to fear. Do you hear me? Nothing. They can break your body. They can strip you of everything you own. They can leave you with nothing but the clothes on your back. But they can't touch the fire inside you. They can't take the lessons you've learned, the strength you've built, the scars you've earned. Those are yours. They belong to you, and they are your greatest weapon. You think scars are ugly? No, scars are the proof that you were stronger than whatever tried to kill you. Scars are the story of a warrior who refused to die. So, wear them proudly. Let them remind you of what you've survived. Let them remind you of who you are. Because you're not just a warrior. You're a survivor. You're a fighter. You're a force that can't be stopped. And when the day comes, when the battles are done, when the nights are no longer filled with tears and silence, they'll look at you, and they won't understand how you did it. They'll see the scars, the cracks, the pain etched into your soul, and they'll wonder how someone like you survived. But they won't ask, because they'll be too afraid of the answer. The answer is simple. You didn't give up. You didn't stop fighting. You didn't let the darkness win. You stared it down, and you made it blink first. And that is what they'll never understand. That is what makes you different. You are not like them. You never were. You were born for this. Born to fight. Born to endure. Born to rise. So let them doubt you. Let them underestimate you. Let them laugh, mock, turn their backs. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. Because when the storm comes, and it will come, they won't last. They'll break. They'll fall. And you'll still be standing. That's what it means to be a warrior. Not the armor, not the sword. It's the will to keep going when everything in you says stop. It's the strength to stand when your legs are shaken. It's the fire that refuses to die no matter how many times the world tries to snuff it out. So cry your tears, warrior. Let them fall. Let them cleanse you. But when the tears dry, when the sobs fade, when the silence returns, you rise, you fight, you show the world that no matter how many times it knocks you down, you'll get back up every single time, because no one knows the nights you've cried alone. No one knows the battles you fought in silence. No one knows the strength it's taken just to survive. But you know, and that's all that matters. So stand, fight, rise, and show them who you are. A warrior, a survivor, a force to be reckoned with. You are not your pain. You are not your tears. You are not your past. You are fire. You are strength. You are unstoppable. You don't get it yet, do you? You think the world owes you something. You think someone out there is going to swoop in and save you, that one day all this pain will just disappear. Let me break it to you. There's no savior coming. There's no knight in shining armor. There's no hand reaching down to pull you out of the pit. It's just you. It's always been just you. So stop waiting. Stop hoping. Stop looking for some miracle to fix everything. The miracle is already inside you. It's in the way you keep waking up when you don't want to. It's in the way you take another step forward when your legs are screaming to stop. It's in the way you keep fighting even when the world has done nothing but beat you down. That's your miracle. That's your power. You don't need anyone to save you. You are the savior. But being the savior means carrying the weight. It means feeling every ounce of the pain, every sharp edge of the heartbreak. It means crying those tears in the middle of the night when no one is watching. It means screaming into the silence until your voice is gone, until there's nothing left inside you but raw, burning fire. And then you pick up your sword and you fight again, because that's what warriors do. Don't mistake the tears for weakness. Don't mistake the cracks for failure. The strongest swords are forged in the hottest fires, and you're still in the flames. You're being shaped, tested, broken, and reforged. And when you come out on the other side, when the fire has done its work, there won't be a damn thing in this world that can break you. But you've got to survive the fire first. You've got to endure it. Feel it burn you. Feel it scorch your soul. Feel every second of the agony as it tears you apart. Because that pain, that's how you know you're alive. That's how you know you're still in the fight. And the fight isn't just against the world, is it? No. The hardest fight is the one inside your own head. The voice that tells you you're not enough. The doubts that creep in when you're at your lowest. The shadows that whisper you'll never make it, that you're too broken, too weak, too far gone. That's the real battle. But let me tell you something. Those voices, they're liars. Every single one of them. They're just echoes of the pain you've endured, shadows of the people who tried to tear you down. They're not the truth. The truth is in the way you keep going. No matter how many times you fall, the truth is in the scars you wear, the battles you've won, the nights you've survived. And every time you stand back up, every time you refuse to quit, you silence those voices a little more. You take back a piece of yourself. You become stronger, harder, more unstoppable. That's the thing about people like us. We don't get to choose an easy life. We don't get to walk an easy road. But that's not a curse. It's a gift. Because the easy road doesn't make warriors. The easy road doesn't create strength. The easy road doesn't forge legends. And you're a legend in the making. But legends aren't built in comfort. They're built in the fire. They're built in the nights you've cried alone, in the battles you've fought in silence. They're built in the moments when you wanted to give up but didn't. You think this is the end? No. This is just the beginning. Every tear you've cried, every scar you've earned, every step you've taken in the darkness, it's all leading somewhere. It's all shaping you into something greater, something unstoppable. The world isn't ready for what you're becoming. They don't see it yet. They don't see the fire inside you, the strength you've built, the warrior you're becoming. But they will. One day, they'll look at you and they'll see what you've become. They'll see the scars, the fire, the unbreakable will. And they won't understand how you did it, but you'll know. You'll know it was the nights you cried alone, the battles you fought in silence, the fire that tried to destroy you but only made you stronger. You'll know it was all worth it. So cry your tears, feel the pain, let the fire burn, and then rise. Rise like the warrior you are. Rise like the legend you're becoming. Rise like the unstoppable force the world doesn't see coming, because no one knows the nights you've cried alone. But one day, they'll know the warrior who rose from them. And that warrior is you. Do you feel it? That ache in your chest that never leaves, the weight that makes every step feel like dragging a mountain. That's the price of survival. That's the cost of carrying on when others would have crumbled. But don't you dare let it break you. Don't you dare. You want to stop? You want to give in? Fine. But let me tell you this. If you stop now, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. Every moment you could have fought, every inch of ground you could have claimed, every victory you could have earned, it'll haunt you. That regret, it'll eat you alive. It'll be worse than any pain you feel right now. So you don't stop. Not for the pain, not for the exhaustion, not for the tears that blur your vision or the scars that weigh on your soul. You keep going because the alternative is worse. You keep going because deep down, you know there's something on the other side of this. Something worth all the nights you've cried, all the battles you've fought, all the sacrifices you've made. And no, I'm not talking about glory. Forget glory. Forget recognition. Forget the cheers of a crowd or the applause of a world that doesn't even understand you. That's not why you fight. That's not why you bleed. You fight for something deeper, something no one else can see. You fight because it's who you are, because it's what you were born to do. You fight because the alternative, giving up, giving in, means letting the darkness win. And you don't let the darkness win. Not now, not ever. Do you think I don't know what it's like? Do you think I haven't felt it? The crushing weight of it all? The nights so long and cold they feel like they'll never end? I've felt it. I've lived it. And let me tell you something. It doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. Every tear you cry, every step you take, every breath you force into your lungs, it's all making you stronger. You don't see it yet. You can't feel it. But it's happening. Slowly, painfully, agonizingly. It's happening. And one day you'll look back and realize the nights that tried to break you were the same nights that made you unbreakable. But you've got to make it through first. You've got to survive the fire. And it's going to hurt. It's going to tear you apart, piece by piece, until there's nothing left but the raw, burning core of who you are. And that's the point. Because that core, that's where your strength comes from. That's where the warrior inside you lives. You've forgotten that, haven't you? You've forgotten who you are. You've let the pain and the fear and the doubt bury it. But it's still there. The warrior is still there. And it's time to wake him up. Listen to me. You didn't come this far just to fall now. You didn't survive everything you've been through just to give up when the road gets hard. You are more than your pain, more than your fear, more than the nights you've cried alone. You are a force of nature. You are fire and steel. You are the storm that shatters mountains and shakes the earth. And it's time you started acting like it. So pick up your sword, pick up your shield, stand up, even if your legs are shaking, even if your body is screaming to stop. Stand up and show the world what happens when it tries to break someone who refuses to be broken. Because the world doesn't understand people like you. It doesn't know what to do with someone who keeps going, no matter how hard it gets. Someone who fights, even when there's nothing left to fight for. Someone who rises again and again, no matter how many times they've fallen. And that's why you're going to win. That's why you're going to make it through this. Because you don't stop. Because you don't give up. Because no matter how dark the night gets, no matter how heavy the burden feels, you keep going. And one day, you're going to look back on this moment, the tears, the pain, the exhaustion, and you're going to be proud. Proud that you didn't let it break you. Proud that you didn't let it win. Proud that you became the person you were always meant to be. So, cry if you need to, scream if you have to. Let the pain out, but don't you dare let it take you. Don't you dare let it stop you. Because you are a warrior, and warriors don't quit. They don't stop. They don't fall. They rise. And you're going to rise higher than anyone ever thought possible. You're going to rise, not because it's easy, not because it's painless, but because it's who you are. You're going to rise because you have no other choice. And when you do, when you stand tall with the scars to prove your strength and the fire in your eyes that refuses to be extinguished, the world will know. They'll know the nights you cried alone, and they'll know the warrior who rose from them.